Enjoying the passage of time. Those 5 words, I think, sum up the meaning to life, or how to make life actually feel like it's worth living. And it seems so simple, but it's certainly not in this modern world. We have constant distractions. We have things that take us away from our mind, our authenticity. And by authenticity, I really mean just things that you feel drawn towards, that you wish you were doing more of. And to enjoy the passage of time, I've learned a few things about this over the past, let's say, half a decade, maybe longer. I do enjoy the passage of time most days. I enjoy what I do on a day-to-day basis, and I have gotten rid of most of my bad habits, and now I'm the most mentally healthy I feel like I've ever been. So, first thing you got to understand is this. Do you have a bunch of bad habits that you continue to commit? Do you still scroll on your phone more than you'd like to? Do you still pull up a incognito browser and get the dirty done? Too often. Do you eat too much junk food? And then afterwards you're sitting on the couch a little bloated and you're like, how does it always get to this point? Well, you got to understand, all of your bad habits are a symptom of a deeper problem. The real problem is that in most cases, you're not enjoying the passage of time. You're not enjoying your time here on this earth. Now, this could be systemically an issue. These could be systemic issues. Obviously, the world that we're in has been set up in a way to isolate you, first off, to give you all your basic needs and yet strip you from them somehow. To give you what you need to survive, but everything you do interact with feels devoid of meaning. The money's fake. The people online are fake. The content's fake. The influencers are fake. Nothing feels grounded in reality anymore. So I can totally understand, living in this system, why it would be hard to conjure up some sort of meaning, to evoke meaning out of life. Along with that, if you are financially stressed, if your crush just rejected you, if you just got dumped, you're going to find a way to escape all the external things you don't like about this world. And the forms of escapism that we most turn to right now are terrible food. You're way more susceptible to being addicted to junk food if you do not have a life where you can just simply enjoy what you're doing and fill up more of your time with things that make life feel like it is actually worth existing on this planet. You will scroll even when your brain starts hurting from how much digital eye strain you have, because all the things out there are not producing anything of value. And so this is what you've got to understand. This is the system we're in. It is designed to get you to escape as much as possible instead of actually do something and be proactive about your situation so that you can start to build a life that you no longer need to escape from. And yes, that is possible despite how difficult the system has made it. It is going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of boredom. But here's some ways that I did it. First off, I don't think there's been any better source for introspection than journaling. Every time you get that hunch or that urge to escape, anytime that happens, I want you to immediately stop yourself in that moment and sit with what that feels like. Sit with the thoughts you want to run away from. We used to have to do this on a more frequent basis. The forms of escapism, the devices we could use in the past to escape on a regular basis, they were much more grounded in reality, first off, and they probably helped. Like, they genuinely helped. Some bit of escapism is good, but now in this society, what we're turning to is quite literally damaging our brain and bodies. It's no longer, okay, it's the end of the day, I've had a tough day today, which is inevitable. There's always going to be tough days. Let's just sit around and talk and get our minds off of the things that are really tough about life. It's not, okay, well, I'm going to go get lost in this book and read and intellectually stimulate myself to escape. It's none of that anymore, really. It is things designed to make the escapism not allow you to come back from escaping with a refreshed mind. That's the difference between centuries ago and now. Because escapism actually should be refreshing you, resetting you, but it's not. And this is why I talk about journaling so much and meditating. It's like you're temporarily forgetting about who you are, and some video games as well, or whatever hobby. You're no longer thinking about the daily worries and things you have to do. You're just so immersed in the present moment that none of that shit really matters right now. And then you come back with an updated frame of mind that allows you to tackle your problems easier. And I think journaling is one of these things. Though it isn't really escapism, is it? But it is allowing you to go through a process of introspection in which you really discover, what the hell is going on here? Why don't I think deeply about my problems instead of just running away from them in ways, in vices that don't help me come back to them stronger? So what I would suggest when starting a journaling practice is that you should, anytime you get that urge, immediately go to your journal. These are the questions I want you to answer. I want you to answer, what just happened right before this that made me want to escape into these vices? What do my thoughts look like right now? What am I feeling in my body? Where's the tension? Maybe you got a bit of tension around your chest. Maybe you're feeling uncomfortable in your own skin. Maybe your stomach feels a little queasy. There's something going on in your body that is priming you, or it's telling you need to get out of this body for a second and go do something else. And the more that we put names to the condition in which we feel like we want to escape the most, the more you can actually do to start not needing to escape in those ways anymore. So once you've answered questions like that and you've built so much awareness around it, then you start to realize what the actual problems are in your life that lead to the bad habits. So personally, for me, like let's say I felt like every time I was really tired and I thought back on past relationships that didn't work out, and I was in the middle of really difficult work, I decided to open up an incognito tab, go on the hub, go on whatever, and, spank the monkey. Still just an outrageous term for doing that thing, spanking the monkey. It's just wild. Anyway, I'm going to use it because it won't get me demonetized. Well, that tells me that I'm incapable of persevering through difficult relationship challenges and just moving through that and feeling the inevitable pain that comes from failure and rejection or heartbreak. I don't know how to truly process those things. So I would take a long period of time to journal about that experience and then ask myself, how do I reach the point where this thing feels like I don't have to injure my well-being in order to get through it? And what could be a much healthier form of escaping, which is what I'm trying to get out of it? What is the root reward I'm trying to receive from getting away from all these negative aspects of life? And how can I receive that reward through a much healthier means? Because like I keep saying, it's not that you don't need to escape. Life is fucking heavy. It's hard. I don't want to be myself all the time. That's why I read. That's why I get lost in different worlds. That's why I read fiction. It's why I write, to express myself in a certain way, to get the feelings and all this tension out of me. You need some sort of outlet like that. That's why I go to the gym and run. All these things. I want to feel life to the fullest degree. It's just that it needs to be one of those things, right? It needs to be a thing that helps you process and move through your emotions rather than not resolve anything through the action in which you are escaping. And therefore, you're going to enjoy the passage of time with that acceptance of sometimes suffering as necessary and temporarily getting away from all of this and then coming back stronger. And once you have that awareness as well, the next time you find yourself really wanting to do the bad habit, you're going to notice everything that you wrote down. And it's going to be like, oh, I have control of this thing because I've already put a name to it. If I could use a metaphor for this, before you journal about the urge, this vice, this bad habit, it feels like looking at a misty setting. You can't really understand it. You can't grab mist, right? It'll just slip through your hands. You don't really know what to do, and therefore you're just trying to run around and hope you find some sort of exit. Once you start to journal about these things, it turns into ice. It turns into icicles, let's say. You can grab an icicle. You can see its tangibility. You can see that it's palpable. See that it's something you can handle. And when you hold on to it, well, it melts and then it goes away permanently. That's what I mean when I say journaling turns this ambiguousness into tangibility, and awareness around an issue and understanding that your bad habits are a symptom, not the cause, is when you actually start to change the forms of escapism and then start maybe using those forms of escapism as a way to fuel a life where you don't even feel like you need to escape anymore. And that's step 2. I think once you figure out the root causes of your problems, realize that, oh, it's because my environment was so toxic. Let's say maybe your parents, you didn't have the best relationship with them. You just went through a breakup. You got bad grades. It's like, oh, once you fix that thing, you no longer feel so awful about yourself. And therefore, the urge to succumb to bad habits, it's not really even there anymore. And in this step 2 is where you need some form of feedback from the work you put in. That's another reason that modern life feels so void of meaning and that the daily tasks you do feel so purposeless. It's because the juice ain't worth the squeeze, right? Oh, I'm going to go to this office job, do work for who I don't even know who I'm doing work for. I get to the end of my day, I feel like I've accomplished nothing. I can't even see the impact I'm having. Of course, your fucking work in life is going to feel meaningless if that's the case. And I'm getting paid not even enough to survive, perhaps. Yeah, of course, life's not going to feel worth it. Ask yourself this. What makes a video game so addicting? What makes a video game so fun? Well, of course, there's the novelty of it. It's a brand new experience, a new world. Perhaps if you play like fantasy or something, you're going to medieval times. There's the escapism aspect of it. You get to play a different character other than yourself for a little while. That allows you to escape the real world. But the games that keep you coming back week after week, they make sure the juice is worth the squeeze. The progress feels rewarding, extremely rewarding. If you level up your character, you get new weapons, new armor. You get things that make you feel like you have genuinely progressed in life. And a lot of real life is not like that. There's nothing tangible that comes out of working hard and progress for a lot of activities in modern life. Contrast that to, early colonial life or just like anywhere a few hundred years ago. You chop wood, you make the fire, you cook the food, you see everything you did, You were part of that whole process. The reward, you get to eat the food you made and you feel good after. Like the progress you make in getting better at the thing, let's say you learn how to more efficiently chop wood. And now you can make your fire faster. Let's say you learn how to whip up a new recipe. Now the food tastes better. That's what you need to adjust your life to have more often, is these tangible feedback, this tangible feedback and these progress loops. The gameplay loop has to be enjoyable or you're not going to come back. You're not going to want to play the game of life. So this is another question you got to ask yourself. What are more activities I can do where I can feel myself progressing and I actually get something out of that progress? Now, it might not be financial, unfortunately, especially at the start of building up something of your own. Like if you want to pursue a career where it's focused around your passion, I can tell you as someone who did that, the first few years, you can't be motivated based off of finances alone. You can't, because it's not going to produce the results you want. Almost definitely, unless you get lucky or you've studied your career so much that you understand how to hack and cultivate an audience really quickly that will trust you and buy things from you. It's probably going to take years to get to that point. So instead, you have to be the one to acknowledge your progress and give yourself some form of reward for that progress. So what does this look like? I mean, that's a great fucking question. Let me think about this for a second. What did I do at the start? I mean, a lot of the reward for me was the process, was feeling myself getting better. And if you can get to a point where what you do is the reward itself, you're going to go farther than anyone. But I would say the first activity where you can get a reward just instantly from it, so long as you just show up, honestly, like the bare minimum would be showing up, but you do need to progress a little bit in it as well, is just any sort of physical activity. Like if you're consistent with running, you're going to be able to run faster and longer eventually, as long as you tailor your workouts to involve like some easy long runs and some VO2 max runs where you're focusing on building up an aerobic base. Like you're going to see progress in that. It's going to feel really good to know that you put in that work and you got the results back for it. Even easier is lifting weights. You lift weights for a month or two, 4 or 5 times a week, zero chance, as long as you're eating enough protein and carbs, you won't see tangible progress. Those are the first things you can start on to make life feel like it's worth the squeeze. Like that's your first glimpse of, oh, if I put in work, I can actually get stuff back. And this can be an enjoyable feedback loop too. And then you can ask yourself, what are other gameplay loops, feedback loops I can create, like my favorite video games maybe, that keep me coming back and keep that session of playing the game so fun. It's because you're getting somewhere. You can feel yourself getting better. That's what you need to make the passage of time enjoyable. Now, does everything have to be about progress and self-improvement? No. But life's a hell of a lot more enjoyable when you're not standing still, when things feel like they're moving. I think movement is the solution to basically 90% of modern issues. Moving, doing something different, feeling yourself move and take action and make progress through something. Like that genuinely solves most of your problems. I will probably have a much better way to explain this. Actually, I have been explaining this way better because it's not unscripted thoughts. It's refined thoughts in my novel that I'm writing. I'm writing a novel about a 21-year-old who lives in a post-pandemic world, our current world, who develops the ability to see into a parallel reality because he goes through a really tragic loss. And there's a lot of modern themes about loneliness, dating apps, isolation, corporate greed. It's all going to be there. And there's a lot of world building, fantasy, and sci-fi aspects to it as well. So I think it's a great mix if you love philosophy, psychology, self-improvement, fantasy, fiction. I really enjoy what I'm writing, and I promise you it's going to be worth your time. If you want to join me in the journey of writing that novel, I give updates on my newsletter every single week. If you want to subscribe to that, the link is in the description. And if you enjoy talking about things that make progress feel tangible, like life is worth living, and you want to be around people who will lift you up, keep you accountable for those goals, and make life more enjoyable, then you can join my self-mastery school. We meet in a video call every weekend. If you want to check that out, that is in the description as well. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching till the end. It's probably a long one, and goodbye.